and welcome to another edition of Nights Around the Fire. I'm glad you can join us. I'm David Tomsick. I'm here with Sue Taylor. And today we have a very special video on, well, I can say this because I'm going to introduce it because it's one of my favorite topics from the past, the Bermuda Triangle. So we're going to go back. Before I do that, I want to thank all those people who subscribed to our channel. We now hit 104 subscribers. We asked for 100. Thank you. Our next target, 125.
Ooh.
So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. You don't have to watch the whole video to do that because you're going to love it either way. Smash the like button, otherwise
watch that like button.
And share the video with other people who may enjoy the paranormal. Remember, this is Canonsburg's #1 paranormal podcast. Okay, Sue, the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes.
Where do we even start with such a vast topic?
So I guess we go back to the beginning and find out how the Bermuda Triangle got its name.
Okay.
All right. So the Bermuda Triangle was a coin that was termed in 1964 by a writer named Vincent Gaddis for Argosy magazine.
I think so, yeah.
And it is a 500,000 square mile section of the Atlantic Ocean that forms a triangle between Bermuda, Florida, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. However, there are people out there that think it is actually closer to 1.5 million square miles.
Why the difference?
So I think it's just because you cannot really get a good grasp on the ocean because of how large it is. So if you say, okay, the Bermuda Triangle's here and a ship went missing over here, do you not count that one? Or do you say it could be a part of the triangle or it couldn't be? It's all that section of ocean right there and anywhere close to the borders.
There's no foul balls in ship sinking, right?
No, you're either in left field or you're in left field.
Yeah, right. It's okay.
Yeah.
So he coined this phrase because of all the missing ships.
Yes.
And so when did that actually start? Who was the first ship that kind of thought there's something off here in the triangle?
Well, I bet you know who it is. It was a gentleman who's got a holiday in October.
You're talking my not so much personal friend, Christopher Columbus.
Yes.
The man who probably didn't discover America.
Correct. Yes, that's a different video, different topic.
So what happened to Chris?
All right, so Chris is traveling in the Bermuda Triangle area, and he sees a fireball crash into the ocean, and he reports some very strange compass readings.
Now, of course, they had magnetic compasses, 100%, right?
Yes.
And they've traveled a lot, so I'm going to give Chris credit that they understood how to read their compass and how to navigate. So, okay, that's an anomaly.
Chris may have been a lot of things, but he was a good sailor. He and his crew were good sailors. They knew how to manage their ship, and they knew how to manage the seas.
So that was the first. So he documented it in his logbook?
Yes, that is one of the earliest documentations of an issue in the Bermuda Triangle.
That we know of.
Yes, because I am sure there are a whole bunch more out there that have been lost to history or were told orally or have just never been recorded, but it is a very big stretch of ocean.
Right, and many of those might have been people saying, hey, there's something wrong with my compass. I'm going to write that down in my logbook, but never made it back to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, what's next? What else?
So let's remember that this is not an isolated stretch of ocean. This is not a stretch of ocean that nobody ever sails through. This is a very key area, Florida Keys, between Florida and the Bahamas. And our longtime viewers, Lee and Michelle, like to sail through here regularly, hi guys, on their cruises. So think about that the next cruise you guys take.
Yeah, make sure that you come back.
Yeah. But I thought, because there was a Scooby-Doo episode on this, there were Unsolved Mysteries episodes on this, I thought that this was a big thing where cruise ships were going missing all the time.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I'm not a big cruise ship fan, sorry. But still, there were a lot of disappearances.
A lot of disappearances, so some specific numbers. As of 2023, we had 50 ships and 20 airplanes disappear.
That's you might not think that's a lot, but it is a lot because it's hard to just lose a ship.
It is, and it's it's documentation too. How many went down before this was
actually
thing.
a thing? Because we don't know how many actually.
No.
Probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for all we know.
Right. We don't know how many of Chris Columbus's buddies may have lost their ships sailing through this area.
Right. Okay, so we've now documented that there's some odd things here. Once again, I'll go on record as saying I understand that the world is mostly ocean.
Yes, yes.
And sailors, and if you ever go to beach towns, they'll tell you stories of ghost ships, of phantom pirates, of things they heard or saw in the ocean. This is not a new thing. The oceans have been a mystery since the beginning of time. Let's qualify that. But this particular slice is in warm water, right? Warm water.
Yes.
And it's a particular space between three solid points, right?
Yes, yes.
Now they've expanded that, but still, it's between Florida and...
The official, yes, is that point between Florida and Puerto Rico and Bermuda.
Okay. So what other ships might we recognize that disappeared there?
So let's talk about one of the strangest vanishings. But as we talk about this, when I was researching this, one thing that I kept in mind was the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Because it kind of felt similar in certain ways, but very different in others, which let's talk about this.
Okay.
So what we're talking about is the USS Cyclops, which vanished in March of 1918, just a few short years after the Titanic sank.
And by the very name, this was not a small vessel.
It was not. It was a U.S. freighter. It was filled with 10,800 tons of manganese ore cargo, and it had 300 passengers and crew on board.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it wasn't just the fact that it had passengers on it. It didn't just have crew members. Like, it wasn't just a freighter that was stocked with cargo that was traveling.
It had passengers, paid passengers, most likely.
Yes, and they were traveling between Brazil and the United States. Okay?
Okay.
So it suddenly disappears without sending a distress call or responding to any radio messages from nearby ships.
So it did not send the message that it was in trouble?
It did not, but remember, neither did the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Edmund Fitzgerald. Okay, now the lake is a very big lake.
Yes, yes.
And we're here from southwestern Pennsylvania, but 2 hours we're in Erie. So we have Lake Erie right there. And the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk in
Superior.
Lake Superior. These are oceans, my friends. These aren't lakes where you just set a fishing boat on it and you can look at the other side. These have the same weather many times as oceans. And of course, being as far north as they are, it can get rough.
Yes.
But the Edmund Fitzgerald had issues.
It was having issues, which it had related to another ship, and it was also in an epically awful storm, like one of the worst storms recorded in history on the Great Lakes. So that is different from the Cyclops, because at the time the Cyclops went down, there was no recorded bad weather in the area.
Okay. Did they find anything from the Cyclops?
They did not. To this day, the wreckage has not been found.
You think that's odd?
No, because of the size of the ocean, and it was a big ship, so it can't really drift that far. Like, once it's going down, the wreckage can't really be pushed with the currents. But I guess it could be once it starts getting torn up by the water, I guess hurricanes could move it around, so it's not necessarily in its recorded location anymore.
The reason I say that is because if you travel in a ship anywhere, and whether it's the Titanic, going through whatever ocean you're going through, there are what they call shipping lanes. Those lanes are used specifically by every captain to travel through the ocean. There's a reason for that. The fuel usage, how the actual course lines up with your destination and such. So if you go down in a shipping lane, they know where to start looking. Now, of course, as you mentioned, Sue, that depends on how soon you're there. A boat that size, if it broke up, there's a better chance, but maybe it didn't break up.
No, maybe it didn't break up. Maybe it might have had something else. One theory about why the ship sank is a German attack. Because remember, 1918, we were right before World War I. So if it had been a German attack and they had, hit it with a bomb or a torpedo or something like that, then it would have gone down quickly, and there wouldn't have been time necessarily to make a mayday call.
Maybe. I think the first mate or whoever makes those calls would get that out quick if they wanted to be rescued. But I don't know how many German U-boats were in the Bahamas.
And they would have recorded a U-boat or some sort of... If the Germans were getting that close to the continental United States, it would have been recorded.
Right, and I'm not sure. But again, everybody wants to find a reason that may not satisfy all of us conspiracy people. But it's a reason. It's possible.
So there's another one.
Of course there is.
And this one, well, there's two other ones. One is my favorite, and one is making me go, huh? And the one that's making me go, huh, is a mutiny against the captain. I saw that, and I went, did that happen in 1918? That feels like more of an 1818, 1718 thing to me. Like, especially on a freighter of that size. Were there really mutinies against the captain?
Yeah, and how would the mutiny bring the ship down? I mean, would they then go off course and take it somewhere? Wouldn't have ended up somewhere?
Right.
They'd have to go to some port.
It has to be somewhere, and it's a big ship. You can't hide it. We're not talking about a fishing boat that you could just repaint over the name or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
we know that's probably bogus. So what's the other one?
The other one. We're going to talk more about this. We get into theories. Is a giant squid attack.
Captain Nemo and the Nautilus?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. We can push that off. All right, so we had the Columbus noticed something. Mm-hmm. We had the Cyclops gone totally missing. And of course, I mean, we now have, you realize there are scavenging expeditions in Bermuda, in that area constantly now.
And we have more advanced technology
Very much so.
than they had in 1918. So something could have been found by now.
Yeah, I'm sure. But okay, it wasn't. It's a mystery. People have their theories.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What's next?
All right. So next we're going to talk about the disappearance of not just one, but 5 planes.
Oh, the Flight 19 crew.
Flight 19, yes.
Okay. Those of you that don't know this story, this is very famous, especially back when Sue and I grew up. Not so much now. When we had shows, as you mentioned, Unsolved Mysteries. They covered these a lot, and they were very interesting. So what's your take on it?
So first I will say, if you want some more information on this, Brett and Alice over at the Prosecutors Podcast just did a 2-part episode on Flight 19, and it was very good, and they go into a lot of detail about Flight 19. So recommend going over and giving that a listen. Tell them that Nights Around the Fire sent you. Okay. So Flight 19 was a very standard routine training mission that left Fort Lauderdale on December 5th, 1945. And was never seen again.
Okay, those are 5 planes, 5 Avenger bombers, I believe what they were.
That's what they were, yes.
And these aren't big planes, but again, the crew was highly specialized and had a lot of flight hours.
Yes, and many of them, this was 1945, so World War II is over at this point, and the men who were flying had a lot of experience in World War II.
This was a training mission.
Yes, it was a training mission, but it was a very routine training mission. It wasn't like you have to go up there, newbies, or you have to go up there to get this many hours of flight certification. It was just standard, this is just what we do on whatever day of the week it was.
Keep your skills up, okay.
Yeah, just a practice run. And their leader was a man named Charles Carroll Taylor, who had about 2,500 flying hours.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So he was very, very, very experienced. So Flight 19 takes off. The 5 planes are in the air, and the Navy base can hear their radio communication. And everything's normal for a while, and then at one point, they hear a transmission that says, I don't know where we are. We must have got lost after that last turn. And at one point, Taylor declared that his compasses were out, but he was sure that he was over the Florida Keys. Okay. And one thing I will say is that Taylor did refuse to switch frequencies when he was instructed to. And he also would not change his direction when he was told to. So initially, the Navy did label this disappearance as pilot error, but they switched it over to unknown with some pressure from Taylor's family. And that is what has made this such a big curiosity for all of us paranormal enthusiasts out here.
Now, they have since found the planes.
They have not found the planes.
They have not found the planes.
No, and it's interesting. They did find some other Avengers one time when they were out there, and they were like, oh, this must be them. But it wasn't them. So to think about that, you talk about how many have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. They lost 5 planes and found 5 more.
Yeah. There's a multiplication factor here.
Yeah, there's a lot of missing pieces out there. And this is probably the most famous disappearance of the Bermuda Triangle. But one other thing to talk about is that when the space shuttle Challenger exploded, when they were looking for the Challenger, they found a whole bunch of pieces of other wreckages. They found planes, they found ships, they found other things that had wrecked in the ocean.
They never looked for them.
No, so that is just how big the ocean is. Like, you can lose things, and you find 5 planes when you're looking for 5 other ones.
Yeah.
You find you're looking for a lost rocket, and you find 15 other things.
Yeah, look, I found my keys to my car.
Yeah.
I do know from some of the shows I've watched over the years that many believe one of the theories was that the planes were heading in the wrong direction.
That is one of the biggest theories, that they were heading in the wrong direction. Taylor refused to switch directions. He was sure which way he was going. It was December. It got dark. They didn't know where they were going, and then they ran out of fuel and crashed.
Nobody found the wreckage because they didn't know where to look.
No, they're looking in the wrong place. Like, if I lose my keys in my house and I come up here and look for them in your house, I'm not going to find my keys because I'm looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, and so that doesn't mean we know the answer to this. It's just that that's one of the theories.
It's one of the theories, but do you want to know what makes this one even weirder?
Okay, I do.
One of these search planes went out to look for Flight 19, and it also disappeared.
Wow. I would understand 5 planes over the ocean. Let's be honest. Everything looks the same in the ocean. Directions all look the same.
That is one of the theories with JFK Jr.'s plane, is you can get disoriented and fly directly into the ocean.
You can be flying upside down. Sometimes you don't recognize it.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because it's a little different gravity feeling, I guess. But these planes were never found, and it's part of the mystery.
Yep. So some other stuff, some lighthouse keepers have vanished in the Bermuda Triangle.
How does a lighthouse keeper vanish?
That was a good question. That I was not sure about. The only thing I could think of was that if a ship sailed up and like took them off or killed them and took something in the lighthouse and then threw the bodies in the ocean.
You're talking a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Netflix made for TV movie.
No, this is real life. Like, there's actually like lighthouse keepers disappear in the Bermuda Triangle as well.
They found the guys who did it and asked them, why did you do it? They go, we didn't think it made sense either.
No.
Why would we take the lighthouse keeper? But that's a theory, huh?
That's a theory.
Is that the only one they have?
Yeah. Netflix.
He was beamed up.
Well, we're going to talk about theories in a second, but you mentioned some ghost ships before.
I have, yes.
And ships that are, the Mary Celeste is a very famous one.
One of the most famous ones, the Mary Celeste.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the one that gives terrible omens if you see it.
Yeah.
It's going to drive me crazy. It's going to come to me at 3 a.m.
Yeah, what was it? Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll put the name on the screen when we figure it out. So the Carol A. Deering ran aground in North Carolina in 1921, so 3 years after the USS Cyclops, and it was missing its crew. And the crew had prepared a meal in the galley, and it was all ready to eat, but no one was there to eat it.
Okay, I'm lost there. What happened to him?
So, again, it's 1921. I have no idea. Now, I know some of the theories about like what happened with the Mary Celeste, but that one, I have no idea. It's 1921. It's a little more modern than when the Mary Celeste was found.
Right. That's interesting. So these ships really, again, don't have any connections with each other.
No.
They're years apart. There is the connection of the spinning compasses with Christopher Columbus and the Flight 19 captain and crew. So that's an electromagnetic issue, right? Mm-hmm. Which I know, and you're going to get the theories.
We are going to talk about theories.
That's some of it. So you have some really, really odd disappearances over time that really, outside of Flight 19, where they think they just flew out to sea, we don't have any real evidence of what happened to them.
No. Mm-mm. And Flight 19 was a big thing. Like, for any of the younger viewers out there, there were Unsolved Mysteries episodes on it. There were going out and finding Flight 19 documentaries. You can see some of them on YouTube. It was a big thing. Like,
some of them were dated.
Yeah, some of them are dated. But like I said, that's why I thought the Bermuda Triangle was a really big problem in this world.
Yeah, and once you look at the number of ships that actually go through there, and the number of ships we have counted that we know have been labeled missing, it's like Lake
Lanier,
where you have 1 million people show up and 2 disappear. It's not really bad odds.
I want Lee and Michelle to look at a map and tell me how many times they've sailed through the Bermuda Triangle on a cruise and been fine.
Yeah, and I think you feel safe going through there. But it's only the case if it's just by accident.
So it's one thing that the Prosecutors Podcast brought up when they covered this case was that Lloyd's of London does not insure the Bermuda Triangle any differently than any other stretch of ocean.
Okay.
So Lloyd's of London does not believe it to be any more dangerous than any other stretch of ocean.
That makes sense. I mean, they do actuarial analysis on it, and not a lot of ships truly disappear. Now, probably, if we go through the whole ocean, I'm sure there's quite a few in the Atlantic and the Pacific, right?
Yes, and just to clarify, we are recording this on the 114th anniversary of the Titanic sinking.
Right. We salute the crew of the Titanic. Well, maybe not the crew. They sort of made some blunders there. At least the captain did. But we salute you. I didn't care for the movie, by the way.
Really? You're like the only person on the planet who didn't care for it.
No, I wasn't a big Titanic movie fan.
Not a Leo fan?
Not a Leo fan there. But because if I stood on the bow doing this, I'd be arrested.
Oh,
I'd be in chains, maritime law. You're going to be putting this, I'd be done. I go, well, I saw it on the Titanic, son. This isn't the Titanic.
Fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately.
Fortunately.
Okay.
Okay.
What's next, Sue? What are we looking at from the standpoint of reality here?
Let's talk about the weather in this area. Now, we were talking about the USS Cyclops versus the Edmund Fitzgerald earlier, and how the Edmund Fitzgerald did not make a distress call, but they did go down in a terrible, terrible storm. So, documented weather there. No documented weather when the Cyclops went down. However, this particular stretch of ocean is prone to bad weather, as well as a potential for rogue waves, which can be up to 100 feet high. And the big deal with this section of ocean is that the weather can come in from multiple sides. So it can come in from all 3 sides and hit ships that way. So the rogue wave theory was one of the big ones for the Cyclops.
Makes sense. And there's been documented accounts of rogue waves.
There have, and I didn't know this, but apparently rogue waves were not thought to be a thing for a while, but now we have proof of them and we have them documented. So probably when the Cyclops sank, they did not know anything about rogue waves. And they were like, oh, okay, well, that's not possible. You can have a wave that's 100 foot.
Yeah, which is enough to take about any ship down.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one theory. And I don't know what the definition of bad weather would be. Like, are we talking about a hurricane, or are we talking about a storm? Like, what type of bad weather are we talking about? Are we talking about some wind that might have stirred up one of these rogue waves?
Right, because if it's not a rogue wave and it's a storm, maybe that will affect small boats. But big boats... Now, the one that took down the Edmund Fitzgerald was a massive storm.
It was a massive storm, and the Edmund Fitzgerald was having some problems before it disappeared. So there's more reason to believe that it disappeared without a distress call. But I will also say, I read a book about the Edmund Fitzgerald a couple of months ago, and they said that it's kind of like a maritime law thing, that captains don't necessarily tell other captains like how bad they are having problems on a ship. So if you think about that, maybe the Cyclops was having some sort of a problem and they just didn't want to say anything because maritime law says, well, you don't want to make it look like you can't handle your ship. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to be on that ship when it's about to go down.
Yeah.
Now, I understood on the Edmund Fitzgerald, they couldn't get the watertight doors sealed in time.
No, the Edmund Fitzgerald, there's a lot of theories about what may have actually happened. It was very heavily loaded down with cargo, so it was probably sitting a little lower in the water than they think it was. They thought that maybe the hatches hadn't been closed, but they found the wreckage and they proved that that wasn't true. And they think it may have bottomed out and kind of scraped and kind of gashed itself on some rocks, so it was taking on water. And with the storm that was going on and the waves that were going on and the way they
couldn't abandon ship.
They had no time. So they think that the waves kind of just dumped it under.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, we can say then that maybe there's some natural...
There could be a natural cause.
But there have been other outer worldly theories.
Let's talk about some of the really fun theories and some of my favorite theories.
And before we do so, you, my friends, hey, if you love what you hear, if you like our content, please consider hitting the subscribe button right now. We're trying to get to 125 subscribers by the end of April. We have 104 right now, so we need 21 more. We need you. While you're at it,
squash that like button.
Squash it hard. That helps us with the algorithm, and share the video with other people who would do the same thing as you. Subscribe, like, and share. So please join us. We're Canonsburg's #1 paranormal podcast right here, Nights Around the Fire. Let's get to the next step here. So some more fun theories.
So obviously one of the first choices is aliens. There have been reported weird lights in the triangle, and I read in the comments section of a lot of other YouTube videos about the Bermuda Triangle that there are a lot of weird situations that go on in the Bermuda Triangle that are not officially documented. So, okay, so maybe it's aliens.
I don't know if the aliens are in business of sinking ships.
Yeah, I think that's more, they're in the market of stealing the planes, so maybe the aliens have Flight 19.
Yeah, look at these old planes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with them at this
They're
point.
Antiques. Maybe they're collectors.
They could just be collectors. Yeah. And the pilots were all, lived out their days with Bigfoot portal jumping or something like that.
Yeah, they were just saying, this is fun.
You heard it here. We just solved what happened to Flight 19.
There you go.
Yeah, alien collectors.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot. Okay, so aliens. How about Krakens?
Release the Kraken.
Yes.
Well, that's an old theory, right?
It was a very old theory. And the giant squid.
Of course, we got to go to the Nautilus. Captain Nemo.
Yeah, Captain Nemo and the giant squid could be bringing down these. I mean, okay, so we say all the time that the forest is vast and Bigfoot could be hiding out there and we've just not seen him because of how much land is out there. Ocean is bigger.
Much.
That giant squid could have a whole community built under there.
Yeah, they're using it for parts to build like houses and for less fortunate squids.
Yeah. I need some more siding. Go get another ship.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, thanks. Great.
Okay, so the squid theory.
There is the squid theory. How about mermaids?
Now we're really getting out there.
Ariel and King Triton are bringing down the...
Why would my question, they think mermaids would do it?
Wasn't that a really old time sea legend? Was that mermaids
Led you to your death?
Yeah,
somehow,
yeah. That mermaids were very bad luck, and they would sink ships and crash the ships, and the whole sirens of the Greek myths, like steering them onto the rocks and sinking the ships.
Right. Oh, it makes sense. Well, it makes sense.
Without me brushing up on my maritime lore,
Yeah.
I think that's what the old lore is with mermaids.
We're just getting off the Ireland lore. So we haven't shifted gears to maritime lore yet.
No, not yet, but I mean, we could. We definitely could.
Why not?
Why not?
So mermaids. So space people, squids, and mermaids.
Well, we got to keep going. There's still more.
I'm hearing.
One of your favorite things, portals.
This has been a popular one.
This is a very popular one.
In fact, there's been movies with ships going through portals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not big name ones, but still, yeah. And this could be created by the weather, the magnetic shift that people see from their compasses could show that, yeah, this is opening a portal.
Yeah. And that could explain the strange compass readings. Aliens could also explain the strange compass readings.
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, it could, I guess. Plus, a lot of weather changes, and the, maybe opening a portal creates a weather anomaly.
It could.
See how we're putting this together for you? It's a lot of work. Subscribe.
Nicely done.
So,
Nicely done. There's another one out there.
Oh.
I had to research this one because I confess I do not know much about this topic. There is a theory that the lost city of Atlantis sits beneath the Bermuda Triangle, and that is what is causing ships and planes to go down, because Atlantis was so advanced for their time that they are still able to interfere with ours.
This is, again, another theory that was used on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
And many other shows that have been on over the years. And there's still shows looking for Atlantis.
Yes. I confess I had to look up more information about Atlantis because I had always heard about Atlantis, but my knowledge of Atlantis went from the submarine ride at Disney World.
Yeah, you seem to get a lot of info from rides at amusement parks.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Where was I when this all happened?
I was watching a YouTube video about the submarine ride at Disney World right before I left.
Well, okay, Sue, thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
But this Atlantis thing, and many believed, and this is my take from what I remember, that their civilization was destroyed, but the power sources, the things still can react with the water, with the atmosphere, and create storms, interfere with magnets, obviously compasses, and that many times it creates a vortex that ships are basically sucked into. Again, whether you believe in Atlantis or not, that might be something we can do one day.
I was going to say, maybe we need to do a video on Atlantis, the real one, not the Walt Disney one.
Not the Walt Disney submarine one.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to it. And some people have found some really odd things under the ocean, like roadways built of massive rocks. And over the years, they've had theories based on this. Of course, those could be just the way those rocks formed. But if you look at the videos, yeah, you might say somebody made this. But again, it's lost to antiquity.
I saw The Little Mermaid. I know that community that King Triton had going under there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we want that boat.
We know what's going under there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, this is not deemed to be a suspicious area. There is not considered anything else out of the ordinary with the Bermuda Triangle as with the rest of the ocean. NOAA claims that there is nothing weird about the Bermuda Triangle area, but there's still a whole lot of conversation about it. But one thing that happened, the SS Cotopaxi, which sank in the triangle, was found after a century. So there is still hope out there for the Cyclops and the other ships that have sunk in the triangle.
So if they didn't get sucked up into a portal, they're probably buried somewhere in the ocean.
Yeah,
under thousands of feet of water.
When the aliens are done scavenging for parts, they just dump them back in the ocean. The aliens just aren't done with the Cyclops yet.
No, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's an auction still going on, an interstellar auction.
I'm going around in the little alien museums, like see the USS Cyclops, human built.
Human built.
So what's your favorite out of these theories?
My favorite is the portal.
Portal? I thought that's where you're going to go. I don't know. I really like the giant squid. I really like the idea of the giant squid sinking the ships.
I mean, we've seen enough of that on TV. Again, pop culture meets history.
I think I really just want there to be giant squids.
Well, they have giant squids. It's just, I don't know that they attack ships.
I just want them to be sinking ships, or maybe mermaids. I like mermaids too. I like the squids and the mermaids, the kraken.
I mean, let's be honest. There are ghost stories associated to this as well.
There are a lot, and this is only one episode, but there is a lot that you could dig into with this topic. If we had 3-4 hours, we could really go to town with this.
Seafaring ghost stories are my favorites because the ocean, again, is so vast, so dark, and still not even really explored. Mm-hmm. And so many people have been lost there. There's so many weird things that people... And again, we're talking about the Bermuda Triangle, but captains throughout history will tell you that there's a lot of strange things that happen over in the ocean. And maybe that's more to the paranormal than anything else. Of course, we do know that they see lights in the sky, Columbus
saw lights. Maybe it is just, so many people have died in the ocean. So many ships have gone down. You're basically swimming in a floating cemetery. That maybe it's just ghosts. Maybe the ocean is just universally haunted.
One of my favorite movies is The Fog.
Fog, yeah. I like Ghost Ship. The Fog is good. I like Ghost Ship too.
And you get a sense to the vastness. You get a sense to the fact that if there are ghosts, when we know that the spiritual world exists, so it makes sense that you go to a town in Maine or on the coast, you're going to hear a lot of ghost stories. Those that from the ocean, those of the town. I think it's very fascinating.
The Flying Dutchman.
There it is.
That's the ship
that's one of the most famous.
That's the Bad Omen. That if you see that, that's a really bad omen.
It just appears.
Yeah.
No crew.
No.
And it's been seen for
centuries.
For centuries. Answer me that, Captain.
Yeah. That's creepy.
So what do you take out of this? I'm going to start. I get a feeling that obviously most of these are just ships that went down. Maybe the circumstances among some of those ships was odd. I can't say either way, but I do say there's a bigger thing here that there's energies in the ocean, there's energies in the Bermuda Triangle that I think and many people believe they have found. We know a pilot, in fact, and I don't think I've seen this recently, but it was another movie or a documentary where a pilot, 1,000 hours flying time, flew the same route, and he was heading into what ended up being a portal in the sky. And he documented, he was on the radio, and he still sticks by his story. And he ended up somewhere 45 minutes before it would be possible to get there, to where he was going. So he obviously lost 45 minutes of time by flying to this storm-like portal. Others have cited similar things throughout history. So there's something again, it doesn't mean everything. Obviously, pop culture took over the Bermuda Triangle.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo did. SpongeBob SquarePants. Who knows? You might see him coming up there. But I truly believe there's a lot more to this. It's as deep as it is high. And I get a feeling that there's things we don't understand about the ocean, whether it's the Bermuda Triangle or any other ocean in the world.
So as much as I desperately want it to be a giant squids and krakens and mermaids, I think the ocean is just a dangerous place. And I think the most experienced seamen, like Captain Smith of the Titanic and Captain McSorley of the Edmund Fitzgerald, can make mistakes because the water is unforgiving and you're out there and you are in a very big area that anything can go wrong. And if something little goes wrong, it can be life-threatening.
Sort of like space.
Yeah. And what was it? I think it was Stockton Rush that said that we know more about space than the ocean. We all know what the ocean did to Stockton Rush, so that's a story for another video.
Right.
But I think the ocean is just a dangerous place, and it's unforgiving if you make a mistake.
Right. So, folks, let us hear your opinion. Put it in the comment box if you have more to say or want to reach out to us. Hit us with our email, strangeworlds777 at yahoo.com. We'll answer. Sue will. We want to hear from you. And while you're at it, let us know what you think and maybe what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, we're open to it.
We're going to be doing some things here in April and early May. And Sue, we know that a lot of you folks love Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
We know you do. We're going to do more. And we're not exclusively a Bigfoot show.
We are not, no.
We're paranormal, which all these really are. But we are going to hit Bigfoot up again. As Sue mentioned, we're going to Greene County.
I made a phone call about it this week.
And there's a lot going on. We might do a Greene County Bigfoot.
We're going to do a soft launch of Greene County with Greene County Bigfoot next week. But it's just we're just scratching the surface of Greene County with that.
That's like a year project if we really wanted to put our minds to it.
We really could, yeah.
So we'll get you that. I just released, and it's, this is the 14th today?
15th, it's tax day.
This is tax day. I'm sorry, America, I'm sorry. This is the 15th tax day. Our video that we just did about the McKamey house will be out tomorrow at, I believe 7 p.m., 7 or 10 p.m. tomorrow. That's our McKamey house video that we talked about over the last few weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were interested in the McKamey house, which is the craziest haunted attraction in the world, as far as I know, most dangerous, check that out. Again, it'll be out tomorrow, and this is the 15th. If you have any money left from your tax bill, we're here trying to get you over that. Maybe you go out and buy a Big Mac and a Coke and sit down and listen to it.
Yeah.
And after that, the sky's the limit. So again, let us know what you want to hear. Sue, any final message?
No, just watch out for those giant squid. I hear they're a big problem.
Yeah, if it catches you, you're done. You're
and the
done.
Mermaids. Always the mermaids.
Once again, if you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing.
Squatch that like button.
And share the video. And we'll see you next time right here on Cannonsburg's #1 paranormal podcast, Nights Around the Fire.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Safe sailing.